Greetings and welcome back to SwitchedtoLinux. How is the audio sounding today? Last time I recorded with this mic, it gave me some weird noises. I had to process them, and then some people are like, "Did you get a new mic? Audio sounds different." All sorts of comments like that. Yeah, it's because the audio did not record well for some reason. So how is it sounding before we jump in there? All right, greetings everybody. Alright, let's see. Paper Bag Man, what the heck is up with that coffee mug? I don't know, man. Which coffee mug? I know you can get me a nice coffee mug with the SwitchedtoLinux stuff on it. My coffee mug's in the other room, but that's my water bottle. So, those are available. The kitty cam, yep. You know, I like Windows and use it, but MS is hate. MS is death. Yes, they're hate, they're death. They're everything lonesome with evil and badness. Day's going well. I actually have a good distro on my computer for once, finally. Oh, Lord. I went with Solus for now. I'm running Solus right now, so I'll have another video in a couple of days about theming up Solus, making sure everything works. And, yeah, it's actually running pretty nice, so that's good. Alright. Just love the Android to death, but absolutely hate the makers of it. There you go. Yep. GNU. Alright, prefer Linux. I run the kernel on top of a kernel. There you go. Okay, does he have a computer with a hard drive loaded with two Linuxes and no OS? Yeah, there you go. No other OS, I guess you meant. Oh, this fuzzy snake is attacking. Alright, well today we're going to be talking about the NSA and putting crypto in the kernel. What? We're going to chat about that general topic here. Let's go ahead and start in with some comments, then we'll go ahead and do the main topic uninterrupted, and then we'll hang out for as long as we want to hang out after that. Frost loves Snickers. Alright, I love Snickers too. Minimalism going well. Overhead is way down, about to get it lower still. That's right, you know. Frees me up to spend more time on the channel. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you get into cutting some things back, and then you realize once you're done cutting it back, it's like, wow, now that that's done and I never have to deal with that thing again, it frees you up to do other things. I'm actually going through old college files right now and kind of have the goal by the end of the week to have them done, and I'm about, I don't know, 1 or 2/3 of the way done, maybe about halfway done. And yeah, it's taking a while, but my my office floor here looks like the paper man was slain upon slain. The corpses of 1,000 paper shreds are scattered around because it's just too messy to shred thousands of papers and not get stuff everywhere. I vacuumed yesterday, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it again today. All right, let's see. Yes, Mark Yates is working on a channel, I believe. Mark, you didn't call me yesterday. What's up with that? Alright, okay, had an awakening the other day. Very cool, very good. Awakenings are good. Awakenings are good, especially when your awakenings involve Linux Mint. Yep. Alright, only have to remove 3 or 4 programs in Linux Mint. Only keep the kernel and nothing else. Alright, remove XPlay Rhythmbox, Firefox Transmission. There you go. I meant to turn on the air conditioning before I started. I forgot. Oh well, I never run the air conditioning. I don't like running air conditioning, but it's been so humid here, I'm just hoping to bring some of the moisture out of the air. 12 or 16 cores. Ooh, I'm not sure about that one. Okay, let's see how HTOP displays them. Alright. Hate motion blur on stuff. Yeah, modern wallpapers on the motion blur, yep. Yep. Alright. Kitty is moving the kitty cam out of the way. He's like, get that thing away from me. Alright, let's see. Pointed when Windows was having problems. Glad I got them fixed now. Hey Kitty, stay away from the keyboard, please. Thank you. Hello, Paperbag Man. I'm doing just fine. Hello, Frost. And salutations to you as well. Alright, you are starting to interfere, Kitty. Go back over here, you interfere less when you're sitting here. There you go. Alright, sorry I missed my meds, I'm ill. Alright, good lord, ought that stupid FUD these days. The heat is on, yes it is, it's getting hot. Alright. Luke Smith can save us. Who's Luke Smith? Reddit, just looked briefly at it. Hey, LibreSecure, greetings. Welcome back. Q1 Fiend, how's it going there? Dubdera, how's it going there? Yes, using Linux has always put you on a watch list. The NSA sucks. Yep. Where's the kitty? Right here. Hi, Lamarck. How are you? All right. If there's any other cool comments. We have... Watch Luke from time to time. He's not so shabby. I like him if he believes marketing myth is a Penelope screwdriver. The marketing myth... I don't know. What was the marketing myth of the Penelope screwdriver? Not a thing. It's called a Torx bit. There are 5- and 6-sided Torx. It actually is slightly different, though. It is slightly different. It is more round rather than more of a squarish. It is definitely an interesting. Greetings, Noah. Your first day of school. Already in school? Man, that's crazy. That's crazy cray. Cray cray, man. Cray cray. All right. Good evening, Kyrie Holmes. How's it going there? Kitty Cam is okay. Yep. Oh, lordy. All right. Is it the flea cam? How's the fleas? Very few fleas going on right now. I've been doing a better strategy where instead of giving them one big dose of advantage in a week, I'm giving them multiple smaller doses, and that seemed to do a really good job. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on with that. To waste all this time resetting my VM. Okay, audio is great. All right, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I think it was just an issue of I had the wrong settings because I used a different scene collection, and I think the audio settings was a little different over there. And like the mic was like right here, and it was way bad. And so I got to keep it a little farther away, or I got to pull down the system there. Robert Fitzpatrick, how's it going there? PizzaLovingNerd.com works as long as you don't use HTTPS. Yes, you need to get HTTPS, and then I might have to do something else to the server. Yes, Android Pie is out, and I don't care. The bid got me to switch off Mint for the first time in years. Really? Huh. Well, come back to Mint, man. No, we use whatever Linux distro works. Well, it looks like your tinfoil hats will be in high demand. I see a lot of people getting banned from social media. Ron Paul channel director got banned, in addition to a lot of others. Yeah. I actually did a discussion on that on the Christian channel yesterday. Talk about Alex Jones and the issue on my Christian channel. So it was an interesting thing there. Scion VPN opinion. I don't know much about a ton of different VPNs. Ask Techlore, and he'd be able to tell you for sure. National Spy Agency. Yep, AC is always on for me. There is no thing like it's a little humid, either hot or cold. Yep. No free marketing, big tech controls 90% of the web. Yep, not to mention themselves. Yep. It's kind of like was it Verizon or is AT&T? I forget. Was it Verizon or AT&T has their own VPN now that will block ads except theirs. Yeah. Good. Went outside and shot basketball today. Very good. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. OC's killing me. Comment. Killing me. Comment, people, please. I want to join comments. Wait, hold up. NSA Crypto and Linux. That's right. Snap. We're going to be chatting about it. All right, we're going to go ahead and leave my thing there, and we will go ahead and start the official video discussion now. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So let's go ahead and jump back to this. All right. So let's talk about this NSA Crypto in the Linux kernel. This is actually a story from FOSS that broke just a couple of days ago. And basically, there's two NSA encryption tools, Spec and Simon, that a wonderful Google director recommended they be put in there. Now, I have not been able to see exact direct comments from Linus Torvalds on this, but obviously if it made it into the kernel, he's okay with it. And so we're going to talk about this. Is this FUD, good old fudgy FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt? Or is there something to this? And what does all this have to do, if you read the description, what does this have to do with No Child Left Behind? Huh? So we're going to go ahead and unfold this. So let's go ahead and start with looking at this article itself. So this applies to Linux kernel 4.17, where these two applications, the spec and the Simon, were implemented into the kernel as a module. Now, as of right now, they are not enabled by default, but they are available to enable. So it depends on, at this point in time, does the distro that you are getting your Linux system from have this enabled? Curiously, the one group that does have it enabled is Arch. For whatever reason, although there are a lot of threads about how to disable it, how to completely remove it, and recompile, whatever else you want to do, it is still there. So let's go ahead and read through this guy. And I think that FOSS itself, FOSS is a website as a company. Man, these guys need to go more FOSS and less annoying. These guys run I count them, 3 different JavaScript pop-ups when you load this page. Look at this crap. Don't do this. Let me see if I can get them to retrigger. Probably not, because I'm on the site. I'd have to do that. But there's an overall full-page cover annoyingness, and then they have the pop-up half on the bottom annoyingness, and when you kill that one, there's a pop-up video! FOSS! Get over it! Stop it! You're being bad! Alright, let's get off of FOSS now and back onto the NSA and the kernel here. Alright, so before you panic from wrong conclusions, you should know that spec is not a backdoor. Well, the thing is that we don't think it's a backdoor. The reality is of spec is there are aspects of this that we cannot audit. It has never been demonstrated as a backdoor. It has never been seen. Like, people are somewhat suspecting it, but it's not really demonstrated as such. But the thing that has most people concerned is that people have asked who know about this stuff, hey, we need to know how the X, Y, and Z component are working, and they're saying we're not telling you. And that's really where the biggest problem is. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the NSA, famous for being privacy invasive, I think if you look up privacy invasion, the NSA is in the dictionary, isn't it? Past actions can cast doubts on every step it takes. They have even approached Linus Torvalds to create a backdoor in Linux, which he refused immediately. So, you know, find other ways in. Algorithm in question, spec, is a weak encryption, lightweight block cipher designed for devices with low computing power, i.e. IoT devices. All right, so first, before we jump too far in, let me say that I am not a guy that knows about all of this type of back-end stuff. So I'm going to be going over some articles that I found which are discussing it in greater or lesser detail. I'm not the one that knows about this. I hope that we can raise issue with this and we get people who are highly knowledgeable about this stuff comment on it, because as of right now, other than a few articles, there is no information about this. And I think that that's the thing that raises more eyebrows than anything. I'd like to see people who have real experience in this weigh in so that we can figure out what's going on here. So NSA wanted spec and its companion algorithm Simon to be a global standard for the next generation of internet-based gizmos and sensors, which I always advocate don't use anyway, so I don't really care. NSA tried aggressively pushing the algorithm to the extent that some cryptographer alleged bullying and harassment at the hands of the NSA. And this, I think, goes to somebody's on a Twitter page. So Thomas Asher, this is a Twitter page where he felt harassed by it. All right, so the problem with the algorithm is that the International Organization of Standards, or ISO, yeah, we all love our ISOs, they rejected spec and Simon. Now, I will clarify here that they have not outright rejected it in the current form. There is still yet an ongoing vote to be determined. The initial time that this was proposed, which was 2013, I think, it was rejected. It is up for a vote again. Individuals passed it, countries rejected it, mostly because they just were leery of the NSA in this, which rightly so. So the problem with the problem with the algorithm is the International Standard for Organizations rejected SPEC and Simon. The ISOs blocked NSA Simon and SPEC algorithms amid concerns they contained a backdoor that would allow U.S. spies to break the encryption. So again, that's coming from Register, but I saw some other indications saying that the vote has not yet occurred. I could be wrong about that. This isn't something I follow a lot. This article was passed on to me, and I thought this would be a fabulous Wednesday discussion. Okay, though no researcher found any backdoors, the algorithms were rejected because the NSA did not even provide the normal level of technical details to researchers, which increased the speculation of the backdoor. So how'd this get in? Well, a guy at Google, because of course Google is one of the top dogs at the Linux Foundation, and Eric Biggers simply said, hey, let's include this. So the reason they wanted to include this is to give better encryption options for lower-end Android devices. So of course a lot of your Android has built into it the ability to encrypt your device, but some of your lower-end machines cannot do that. And so they wanted to add this into the kernel so that it can be activated on lower-end devices to allow at least some degree of security. And of course, here is the comment from Eric Biggers. He talks about add a generic implementation of SPEC, including SPEC 128 and 64 variants. SPEC is a lightweight blockchain cipher, block cipher that can be much faster than AES on processors that don't have AES instructions. We are planning to offer SPEC XTS, probably SPEC XTS 256 XTS, as an option for DMCrypt and FSCrypt on Android for low-end mobile devices with older CPUs and ARM v7, which don't have cryptography extensions. Currently, such devices are unencrypted because AES is not fast enough, even when the neon bit-sliced implementations of AES is used. Other AES alternatives, such as 2Fish, 3Fish, Camilla, Cas6, and Serpent, aren't fast enough either. It seems only a modern ARC cipher can provide sufficient performance on these devices. All right, so that's kind of what he's saying. So this is where it has to do with No Child Left Behind. We're going to include these questionable ciphers in the kernel simply so that we can make room for other devices that are falling behind. No Android device left behind, people. We have to have something to bring them all up to equal specs. From the highest best spec to the absolute lowest slowpoke, we need some better system. And so we are possibly risking, if this thing is a backdoor, if this thing is a problem, we are risking backdoors, issues, problems, insecurities in the entire Linux kernel, all to support crappy low-end Android devices. That's who put this in. Kind of frightening, really. So it begs that question, is this really safe or not? And that's kind of the thing we want to dig into, which I will not have a final answer. Okay, the focus is on providing encryption on Android Go and Android version tailored to run on entry-level smartphones. As of today, these devices are not encrypted because AES is not fast enough. No Android left behind, people. No Android left behind. Okay, alert Linux users spotted the inclusion of SPEC in kernel 4.17, and since then has become a debated topic on various Linux communities on the internet. Arch users have already started discussions about blocking the module. However, in kernel.org, the SPEC module is turned off by default, but Arch has it turned on. You can actually disable it. You can blacklist the SPEC module by adding a blacklist configuration file and then blacklisting config crypto spec. So that's going to disable it. So that's kind of what's going on. Of course, there's a Reddit thread that has arisen about the topic over the last couple of days. Let me go ahead and refresh that in case there's anything new on there. So of course they're kind of talking about this, and obviously some people are saying this is no big deal. You know, Linus said it's okay to have in there. It wasn't implemented. It's just a module. You can use the module, you cannot use the module. Whatever is the case, we have a variety of abilities to deal with or not deal with this. So even in the Linux community, it's not all absolutely good or all absolutely bad. It's somewhere in the middle. And the biggest deciding factor is this a backdoor? You know, just because something comes from the NSA does not mean it's bad. Okay? I might add chances are probably getting good. But at the time, at the same time, just because it's a standard that came from the NSA doesn't mean it's bad. However, on the flip side of that coin, there are a few things that have been noted in this article here from the systemd free Linux community, which is sysdfree.wordpress.com. And this was an interesting post that came out a little while ago. Again, these guys like me, they don't have all of the technical background, but they're kind of piecing together things to indicate what is, what is the potential issues. It says here, SPEC is a long-term project to standardize encryption that goes around the internet. Seems the NSA has been the primary force proposing what is pretty good encryption and what is not. It doesn't take a genius to assume that only encryption can be decrypted by the NSA can be proposed. So this set of new rules is make its way into the open and free source software. All right. Is not what was there, but is not important. Let's see. We don't feel knowledgeable enough to discuss the matter, but we thought an alert to read and judge for yourselves. Now, one of the things he mentions down in here is one of the main problems is that some of the Snowden documents, which included plans by the NSA to weaken publicly available cryptography, as well as other instances like dual EC DRBG thing. So in other words, the NSA wants there to be some public absolute standard. They're putting some of these absolute standards out there, and as they are doing that, what ends up happening is that Snowden made reference that they want these standards out there so that they have the ability and the tools to break them a lot easier. Now, the other fascinating thing is that the NSA is absolutely committed to not releasing bug reports. When they find exploits in anything, they sit on them. They don't release into the community. They don't alert the vendors. They don't do any of that. They sit on them so that they can utilize them as zero-day exploits as well. And that is absolutely 100% unethical. And that's, I think, what raises the biggest eyebrows about this. Does this really have a backdoor or not? Because remember, there's parts they're not telling us about it. So here is where the information comes out. Now, this article, remember, is June 2018. He actually cites references that the final vote to accept or not accept this is not yet done. So the cancellation still requires a vote of the full committee level, which has not taken place as of June. So I'm not sure if that has taken place yet or not. Much of the criticism mentioned earlier was both the NSA's reputation and with the way they handled the review process. One U.S.-based cryptography researcher said, unfortunately, the NSA is lacking a good reputation in academia. It's not very long ago when AES was selected as the optimized code provided by the NSA had side channel flaws. Likewise, when the NSA proposed SHA-1 as a replacement of SHA, then again, there were security weaknesses. Bottom line is that in most cases, the NSA has pushed for adoptions and standards in which security vulnerabilities were found very soon afterward. So it's very possible this thing is insecure, and they're trying to push it this fast so that it gets an insecurity into the back door. Now, the good thing with Linux is if it does determine that, we might just decide to strip it out. And if Google would like to get the little left behind Google Android Go devices to have this, they can put it in themselves, Google. You're Google. You can drop the module right on back in and activate it. All you want, it's your own system. That's what's great about FOSS. Okay? But don't push weak, crappy NSA standards on the rest of us, all for the purpose of these silly little cutesy little low-end devices. If it's a problem, add it to the kernel. You're modifying the Linux kernel for Linux or for Android anyway. What's the big deal? And that's what people are mostly having a fit about. Is So what's my final takeaway here? My final takeaway is it's good that it's not enabled. It's good that distributions will have the ability, and we as end users will also have the ability to remove this or blacklist it. But I also agree with other people in the Reddit post who simply said that not everybody has the technical skill or know-how to do that, and you know, and many of the distributions, they're too busy to be working with modifying the Linux kernel. There's enough other stuff they need to be worried about to pull out those systems. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the distros, mainstream distros down the road, remove this. I think that would be interesting. And so the reality is we don't have all the details what's going on. It's good that they're trying to do something for some low-end devices, but the reality is this is something that should raise eyebrows, and if Google is merely putting this in for low-end Android devices, it's kind of meaningless because they can put it into the Android kernel themselves. They don't need it to go through the entire kernel system. And that's kind of my takeaway. I don't think this is the end of the world. I'm not going to sit here and say, the NSA is spying on us all now who use Linux. But at the same time, it is worthy of examining it. It's worthy of staying on top of it. It's worthy of probably disabling it, or if you have the know-how, removing that part and recompiling your kernel. That's kind of what I thought. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. For those that do not want to stick around for the comments a little bit later, don't forget you can help support the channel. Oh, hold on. Kitty fell. Come on, buddy. He tried to jump and he missed. You tried to jump and you missed. Hey, everyone. Check us out at switchedtolinux.com/support. All right. So you can check me out at switchedtolinux.com/support. If you do want one of those fun water bottles I mentioned here at the beginning, I do have these guys, stainless steel water bottles, available at shop.switchedtolinux.com. And I am on Patreon, patreon.com/TomM. So thanks for watching, folks, and stick around for the live chat, and we'll go ahead and go through these, because there were a lot of comments come down the pipeline. So let's see what we got here. All right. Verizon the VPN. Striker Wolf, greetings. Is me or people just don't read terms of service when they sign up for services? Violate those terms and you'll get banned. Sucks, but companies have the right to enforce their own rules. It depends what we're talking about, though. The reality is that if you want to ban channels like Alex Jones, as crazy as they are, and those tinfoil hats are everywhere, I want to see the examples. I want to see exactly what they were banned for, because the reality is while they may be private companies that quote unquote could indeed ban people for these reasons, they don't actually have that right if they're banning certain political views or things outside of very clear-cut terms and conditions. But the reality is I haven't seen these horrible, horrendous, hate-spewing videos. Sure, the guy's off his rocker, the guy's very distasteful, and he's a raving lunatic, but that doesn't mean that really Silicon Valley companies should all gang together in one day and kick him off of all their platforms. And I mean, that's an interesting debate. And first it came for Alex Jones, and we said nothing, and that is correct. And that is exactly the point that I made in my video yesterday on the Christian channel at Our Walk in Christ. I talked about the video title, I think it's called Alex Jones, Silicon Valley, and Bonhoeffer. Okay. To remove Linux Mint from my laptop, put Linux Lite on there because it's lighter, and Mint was using a lot of system resources. Well, you should have been running, if you were concerned about resources, you should have been running Mint XFCE. But if Linux Lite is working, keep it. Put it on OCD, or you put it in alphabetical order. What? All right. Let's see. It's private internet access, much better VPN, and has built-in ad blocker. So great for mobile devices. Yes. I actually have a, if you are interested in helping the channel, there is a link there to private internet access, my affiliate link. I just dropped that in the chat down there. All right, let's see. What OS do you use for your phone? I am using Lineage with no Google services attached. Delete, 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 delete. SwitchLink says I will delete you. That's right. Yeah. Buddy keeps on telling me to use the free VPN. I told him no way. Free VPNs are garbage. There's a reason the good ones cost money. Yeah. PIA is totally unsafe. Don't you know what happened to them recently? Inform us, William Nellis. I follow PIA and Nord. I've not seen anything serious at this point in time, but please let us know what happened. Antic Designs did a video on how to blacklist the module. Very good. Greetings, Angelo from Serbia. How's it going there? I do apologize. I am not going to be able to pronounce your name. But welcome. How's it going there? Doesn't belong in there. I tend to agree. Finally, at the final endpoint, I tend to agree with that. No, either way, I think PIA is good because it doesn't keep logs. And one time, Court tried getting data from it, and they couldn't provide any. Yep. Yep. That's what I think as well. Team Pirate, by the way, did Microsoft improve the apps because I still have the old version on Windows Phone and I'm switching to Android? For which? I'm not sure. Says a requirement for something to be put in the Linux kernel should be that we can audit the source code. Passed my Competa A+ recently and Network Plus soon. Very good. Congratulations. NSA encryption equals NSA possible to interact with it. Yeah, keep that NSA crap out of the kernel. They are nuts for even considering it. Yep, I agree. I agree. Oh man, we peaked out at 99. Everybody, jump back on and call your friends. Let's see if we can get this guy up to over 100 views. We're at 87 right now. All right. Isn't Windows already using NSA encryption? Installing weaker version for non-US installs? I don't know. Did it affect BSD as well? No. We have a back door, but I'd still put it in place on my Windows machine. Why not use Veracrypt? It's open source and has been audited. Well, they're looking at something that can be used on the back-end file system. I think Veracrypt just does individual files, I thought, but I don't know. Who founded Linux? Linus Torvalds. Okay, I find it funny that some people say ISO, I say ISO. That's just because of the way file extensions go. You generally just phonetically say it, at least here in the United States. So it's either ISO or ISO or ISO or I don't know. Or Cato. All right. I get NordVPN. Got an offer for 12 months. Yes, I have Nord as well. Let me drop that one in. Uh-oh, what's my affiliate link for Nord? Oh, I think it's just Nord. Duh. There it is. There's my Nord link. Do you guys blacklist or just ignore? I mean, I don't know. I haven't crossed that road yet. Blacklisted for now. I hear it may get removed. Okay, that'd be good if it gets removed. Hey, Saddle Ridge. I don't see you commenting anywhere, Saddle Ridge, but I see you've been blocking out some bad comments. Thank you for keeping it clean, man. Okay, yes, people who think they won't go after open source Linux are fools. Yep. Well, I guess we need to start compiling our own kernels. All of a sudden, Gentu's looking really good. Okay. When first saw BitLocker in Windows 7, I encrypted my iPod Nano 3rd generation. Music disappeared from within the UI on the iPod itself. Greetings, Android Free. BitLocker itself is guarded. Veracrypt does the same thing and is safe. Are you uploading content to BitChute along with YouTube on 2018 Purge? Probably very soon I may start doing that, but as of now I am not. Okay, comes from the NSA. Is no good. Okay, my boss is anti-anything open source. That's kind of frightening. Why put encryption at the kernel level? Well, it's a module. Okay, so I guess maybe to mention this. So The kernel itself is like a big compilation of all the different stuff that could happen at any given time. So the kernel has compiled within all these different drivers for all this different hardware. And it's only if the kernel does not support a certain hardware that you would have to install it on the system. And then whenever you're booting it up, it's going to load whatever modules are needed at system detection to run it. So the fact it's in there means that you can utilize the encryption without having to install extra components to make it work. That's why it makes sense to do that. Let's see. Downsize lack support certain things like game of chess with the criminals. We do not consent already. Yep. Why is non-free, non-open source getting bundled into the kernel? Don't know. Okay. Ashis, greetings. We know who the NSA is. Yep. Apparently doesn't understand how encryption works, if that's his line of understanding. NSA is unethical. Yes, they are. Why would non-US person want to give US access to their data? Why would anyone want to give NSA access to the data? NSA effectively spies the entire world. They're creepy, yes. Do it be the next Linus Torvalds. Okay, I don't buy that bit about encryption not being fast enough. I have a phone with only a gig of RAM, and when I have encrypted, the speed didn't drop at all. Yeah, I think it's just the NSA utilizing Google to do their dirty work of corrupting the kernel. That's my thought. I have a virtual creator of the main Windows machine. I'm going to put Linux this weekend. All right. (1804.1). Yeah, I think I did some comment on 1804.1, I think. NSA ignores the Fourth Amendment. So yeah, yep. NSA will enable it, most likely. Linus Torvalds did say at some point he was asked by NSA to put it backdoor in kernel. Am I wrong? I read this somewhere. No, I actually mentioned that very briefly in the article at the beginning. Time to fork Android or just make a plain Linux phone. Yep. Power, control, and money. Alright, slower devices keep tabs on the poor. Yep. Always got BSD just in case. Yep, time to build a new OS. Say is always watching. Lets you get off the grid. You're being spied on. Wi-Fi is terrible at in BSD. Yes, that's the biggest problem with it. It is terrible at BSD. Hey, we're up to 94. Somebody find friends. We need 6 more people to cross 100. Alright. Unfortunately, impossible to avoid. Kitty is a rolling distro now. Yes, he is. Especially how much he rolls around on the table. Kitty uses Puppy Linux, though. Kitty's the kernel. Yep. Is there an NSA backdoor in the kernel? He's like, yep. Kitty OS. Yeah, he uses Puppy OS, though. He uses Puppy. That's his Linux distro. Think no need to add my distro. I have to make my own distro for all of us. No, don't want that hot garbage. Removal or not, yellow flag is more important to take action. It's time to learn hard things the old way. Your next channel will be switched to BSD. Oh boy. NSA is trying to spy on you regardless of what operating system you have. Kidibuntu. How about Kidbuntu? I always wonder what that K was for. Alright. Does it have a back door, or what about a cat flap? There you go. Kitty door. If you don't have free speech, you don't have free society. Yep. We don't kick up a fuss right now and get going. It's a slippery slope, all that I've seen. Yep. Internet was created by the U.S. government. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like just because they created it doesn't necessarily mean it's all bad. Doesn't mean they're not like omniscient over it just because they may have created it. Alex Jones is harmless. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. At worst, he's delusional. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, he's a Fruit Loop. Who's in charge of what is broadly labeled hate speech? Yeah, that's the biggest question, I think. I push the kernel, those low-end devices aren't going to be updated anyway. Yeah. Maybe yesterday's conspiracy theories turned out to be today's truths. Yep, that's very true. Alex Jones is a raving lunatic that is right on the money on occasion. Yep, I agree. New OS down the road, binary level. What task one called Terry Davis? He was right. You done a video comparing PIA versus Proton VPN? I have not. Jones said in court his show was an act, but you could wonder if he just said that to the judge to get off the hook. I don't know. I'm not sure a human being could function in society if they believe the things that he spews on that show. I think his show is just a big show to push a certain agenda and male masculine enhancing products. I think that's all his show is. Okay. Oh, we're at 99. One more guy. Somebody find a friend. Someone find a friend. We're at 99 viewers again. All right, let's see. Veracrypt can encrypt your system and drive. The entire drives are partitions. Okay, thank you for that. I was not sure. I thought it was only files, but I've never used it, so I don't know. I use Lux when I'm doing stuff on Linux. That's what all my backup stuff is in. Woohoo! We crossed 100! Ding, 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 ding! Yay, yay, 100! Yay, yay, 100! Yay, yay, 100! All right, Kitty's happy. All right, Nord has excellent customer service. Gross people, reasonable, honest business model, 30 money back guarantee. Yeah. Distro hoppers use ISODoc. Haven't commented because I don't know the lingo here. All right, there you go. What kernel am I running? Probably something old. I am running. Yes, I will proceed with caution. I'm running 410.038. I have Solus over here, whatever Solus runs to. Greetings, Nitson. How's it going there? I'm just here because my work laptop running Windows 10 crashed while I was working on an important document. Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's the thing that kind of messes us up, man. It's like you're working on something and Windows is like, yep, let's just shut down now and reboot some updates, and then it crashes your document along the way. Tried blacklisting the module, my RAM disk, bootloader, no idea if it actually worked. Basically, the kernel is away. So Antic Designs has a video out. Check out his channel and find that video. You can do what you did and confirm it with on his end. Basic kernel is away for the controllers on the device of your computer to interact with your OS and vice versa. It's a layer between OS and hardware. Yep. Keegan, greetings. Making potato soup. Metal Lord, how's it going there? Lots of comments. Lots of comments. All right. Alright, I'd say Microsoft and other companies losing control, so they're trying to scramble like a spider, fight for its life from being flushed down the drain. Does Lineage OS work on cheap Chinese tablets? You need to check their website. Go to the Lineage OS. I think it's lineageos.org maybe. And then go to click the download button, and that'll give you a list of all compatible devices. So go ahead and check that website out. Hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do that. What is the device, Simirat? All right, so what we're going to do is go to lineageos.org, click on the downloads, and then over here is all the compatible devices. So find your brand and then find your individual item. So that's how you find out if your device is compatible. 18 kernel is also problematic. Make your own Discord server for all of us to join. I tried Discord once and I was very displeased with the system over there. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'll think about it. I'll ask the patron supporters if they think it's worth it to do. If they do, then I'll think about it. I'll give it some serious thought. But I'm already busy, and I really didn't have a real good experience with Discord the last time I tried it. So, needless to say, it's something that I'm not looking into in all avidness. What could be stopping AMD or NVIDIA from seeking stuff in the drivers? That's, yeah. Well, I think one of the realities, though, is, Charlie, is that the drivers that are in the kernel are all open source drivers. It's when you install the closed source proprietary or non-free drivers that you cause the issues. And that's why NVIDIA is such a problem in Linux, is because to get them to work right, you oftentimes have to use the non-free drivers. Imagine Stuxnet for Linux. Yep, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Friends, what are those? Welcome back, Noah. It's a computer program lingo I don't speak. Figured out what you meant by the typo. Yeah. We're at 103. We peaked at 107. Don't care anymore. They can look into my black hole. Payment for the work. Yes, Daniel, I did get it. Thank you. Do you need, Daniel, do you need an official business invoice? It's going to go into my books either way. It's just the difference is, do I print off and send you an invoice or not? Doesn't matter if Alex Jones, TFM, me, Sargon are bearing the concept of silencing certain viewpoints at the core level. Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. Exactly. What happened? Just got here. Internet is down. Using the phone. Oh, well, we're kind of going through comments now. I did about a 15-minute piece on the on NSA the NSA spec and Simon encryption protocols. Well, encryption modules have been implemented into Linux kernel 4.7. So we were talking about the pros and the cons of that. He nodded, and that was sort of legally in the free. Everyone understood the NSA had approached him. Not least Torvalds, Lib Committee, Electron Mass Surveillance of EU citizens, 11th hearing. Okay. 103. Yep, we're at 102 right now. Good evening, James Miller. How's it going there? Kitty dance. Yeah, you. Okay, they're taking away right to be entertained by Alex Jones. I thought everyone knew he was a legit living meme. Well, I don't know. Some people really believe it. Important part is the hardware. When the backdoors are deployed in the hardware, it's time to switch the open hardware companies. Can I wear an Alex Jones hat? I can wear an Alex Jones hat. Let me grab my Alex Jones hat. Hold on. Kitty, sit there for a second. There we are. Got me my Alex Jones hat. All right. Probably running one of the oldest kernels here on CentOS. All right. What do you think of Solus so far? Not too bad. Not too bad. The biggest problem with Solus, if it makes my list of the best Linux distros, it's going to be at the end of the list, because I'm still having the problem. When you update Solus, it kills it, and you have to fix it in the terminal. The kitty dance, yep. Satan's OS. You name me to check your kernel. Yeah, I mean, it's just easier for me with petting a kitty. I'm petting a kitty, man. I don't have two hands type on a keyboard. Just as easy for me to pull up my updater and look. I hope the title is clickbait. Unfortunately, no. 4.17 saw the implementation of Spec and Simon NSA-sponsored crypto modules. But you can read what hear what I said about it. I'll try and remember to link the articles in there when I close up the stream. Oh, Radio Garden, cool. Crazy Alex Jones is not censored, nor is his free speech violated. He can still post to his website, getting booted for violating TOS. Here's the point, Striker. Where did he violate the TOS? They said hate speech, hate comments. I want to see those. When I see what they violated him for, I will agree. But simply saying he was inciting hatred. Where? Like, 4chan hasn't shown us examples yet. Okay, if it hasn't come out on 4chan yet, it doesn't exist that I know of. If somebody knows of some, let me know. I don't know if the camera works on LG G6 on Lineage. Here, the camera's the biggest issue on Lineage. Let's see if there's any note about it. LG G6. I only see. Oh, there's G6. I'll assume US. G6 US. That's just a download. Device info. Recent changes. Show a snack bar when removing a history item? I want a snack bar. Yum. That sounds good. I'm not seeing anything in the changelog about cameras. I can't comment on that. I would probably just do some searching on that topic. Discord lacks the ability to fave and disconnect and connect. Honestly, Mumble is still better. Chow 8 Pro. I am not seeing that brand in the Lineage site. Was awful, not a fan. Term speaker mumble, no clue why Discord is the new hotness. because Microsoft drove Skype into the ground. Stuxnet. Stuxnet was the computer worm that was put together by the United States and Israeli governments, which had multiple zero-day systems that it was spread around the entire world by USB drives to get its way into the Iranian nuclear facility, where it proceeded to destroy all their centrifuges. If I'm remembering correctly, I think that was Stuxnet. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that. If I remember correctly, that's what Stuxnet was. Alex Jones is a fraud. He's been pushed when he pretended he got Bohemian Club, but now I think it was just fake. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Noah, please don't ask people how old they are. Most people don't like it. Alright. Managed to get GTX Titan Black 6 GB the other day and AU 200. Off a mate. Very good. Is that off a mate or off a mate? Do you have a good guide to install NVIDIA drivers for Linux? It really depends on the distro. Like on any Ubuntu-based system, go into the software and find the GUI driver manager and install it. On Debian, you need to add the non-free and the contributor packs to the sources, and then run a terminal command. I forget what it is, but it's on one of my videos, and then reboot. Is there even a point trying to be secure? Privacy is everywhere. Or privacy, it's everywhere. Well, we don't want to roll over and go, okay, I give up. You can have everything now. We don't want to do that. And so every little stand that we can take is a stand in the right direction. Got what I needed. No invoice is needed. All right. Only issue I'm having is sleep and hibernation. Well, I mean, sleeping pills, you know, other stuff will help with that. Is a cat meowing in the background? No. There's a dog barking out the window somewhere. Buy my filters and my supplements. Yeah. I'm gonna take my hat off now because this thing's actually hot. Am I using Solus Budgie? Solus Budgie is on my media PC right now. I killed Fedora yesterday and put Budgie on it. So I'm running Budgie. I'm gonna run Budgie for, I don't know, a couple weeks, month maybe, and then I'll do a full comprehensive review on it. Update problem will be fixed on Solus 4. Well, good to know. It's not fixed now. I had to fight with it for an hour on the terminal to get the thing working. But once you actually, basically, if you're trying Solus, when you first run the updates, it will kill it. And then you boot the thing up, you get into a terminal, you have to run the command to fix the database, which is pizza. Do you remember the code to fix the database? It's I forget what it is. There's a code you need to run to fix the database, and then you need to run your sudo EO package up, and that will fix everything in the system, reboot, and then it should get back into the what happens is it ends up killing the main desktop. So you kind of have to play in the terminal to get it working right. Once you get past that step, though, it's solid. I mean, it's just one of those distros. It's, oh man, it's solid. It seems pretty solid. So I'll have to give it a try for a little bit and see what I think. Had it on last night. Tinycore and Windows 8 ran fine. Very good, very good. Glad it went to use. And I took the rest of the stuff yesterday to the computer recycling center. So I've gotten rid of all non-functioning computers in the house now. Woohoo! More crap is out of here. Does Solus support Snap and Flatpak? It supports Snap for sure. I'm not sure about Flatpak. In fact, I think I installed Chromium through Snap because I don't think Chromium is in the repositories. So I installed that through Snap. I installed Skype. I think Skype is also through Snap, but I'm not sure. That was the third-party repos. Usual non-hate speech. It's intentional, as broad as it can get, so they can censor the truth. That's exactly what my concern is. Is there even a point in fighting it? Yes. Because it shows your convictions. You stand up for a fight even if you know you're going to lose because it shows your real, true convictions. It's called faith. And me as a Christian, what can they do to me? Kill me? I'll be home with Jesus. So... who clearly labels hate speech U.S. government, left-leaning parties, USA left-leaning companies, and maybe hate speech just does not exist, actually a form of censorship. He incited hatred to gay frogs, I hear. Yeah. I don't know. I think he was just against turning frogs gay. I don't think he incited hatred against gay frogs. He was just concerned about involuntarily turning frogs gay. I think that's what the problems were. I'm not sure. Can violate YouTube's rules every time because they weren't written in clearly for a reason. And that is the problem. Frogs are only going to get gayer. Oh, you have no idea. Today's hate speech includes disagreeing with someone. Yeah, and that's the problem. Yeah. You disagree with me. You disagree with me. I don't know. Hate, hate, hate. Solus has Snap and Flatpak on all the packages. Okay, I didn't know if they had Flatpak, but I guess they do. Same issue with Solus 3 Budgie, self-destructs and update. Yes, it is a fairly easy fix. Figuring out how to fix it is a different story. Hello, Anna Rita. How's it going there? The kitty just ran off. Right, show him to you. Does that make me like someone or some group that doesn't like that I don't like? Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, welcome to at least a supposedly free society where we can have our own choices. Of course, I don't think we have a free society anymore, but yeah, whatever. Psychopaths, i.e. SJWs, and those degenerate species. Truth is hate speech because it triggers psychopaths living in their own little world. Yeah. Account has been terminated due to multiple or severe violation of YouTube's policy against spam, deceptive practices, and misleading content of other terms of service violations. Yeah, they just silenced one defender of frogs everywhere. What a sad state the internet world is in. Yeah. Found Wire a good replacement for Skype. Okay. I decrypted a couple Linux files with just a notepad by selecting all the gibberish, cutting and repasting the page, and Microsoft address trademark that was at the bottom of the pages. Whoa. Of course, USA and Israel would be behind it. What a shock, yeah. Is there even a point to install Linux like big tech or big government everywhere? Too much to get anywhere. Sorry, Tom. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, everyone I offended. Yeah, that's okay, man. That's right, bud. Life's a learning process, man. We just want you to learn. Okay, I was going to use Ubuntu. I like the direction it's heading. Can it have the same GUI tools? Drivers? I think so. I don't know. I don't install Linux for privacy. I just don't kid myself. To be honest, I install it because it works better. Sandy hoax was badly done hoax. What was wrong with Fedora again? It was hard to find something that was right with Fedora. Man, the thing was just, it was slow. It was encumbering. It was buggy. It had constant system freezes, crashes, just issue after issue after issue. Took forever to get everything working. It was just kind of, I don't know. It was lots of problems. Lots of big problems. 26, I don't care if someone asks how old I am, but some people don't like it. Why? I don't know. Yeah. For me, it's a privacy thing. I don't answer the question exclusively because of privacy. Not on the internet, anyway. I'm somewhere in between 15 and 55. I'll give you that. Okay. Last Solus snapshot is August 2017. Wow. No internet service to Sandy hoax the previous 2 years. That's because it was storage for the city. Interesting. Okay, you're a busy guy, but have you IX your host file? Oh, fix the host file? No. And somebody sent me a note that it might not work on Windows 7, which I've seen reports of it not working on Windows 7 before. So I don't know. I might just scrap out the main core of my file and replace it with another one that's maybe more modern, and then just add my extra components to it. I think that might be a better way to go. VM, VPN, Unix gateway, Linux OS. Yeah, that's a good thing to use. Unix is not bad. Yeah, Solix repos are pretty limited. That's kind of the problem with it. FlatHub says they support Solus. So, put up a fight even though you're going to lose. Christian Linux users, absolutely. Body they may kill, whose truth still by the still. Yep. Fix the update, sudo repackage build. Yeah, that's it. That's the one I couldn't remember. So yeah, if you're going to try Solus, keep that little thing that Pizza just put in there handy. You're going to need it. Personally, if you don't have the best gaming hardware anyway, just game on console and have Linux on your PC. Yeah. Frogs are gay. Shocking. Yeah. In fact, most amphibians can be transgender, as it were. How do I use Instagram if I'm Gen Zer? It's part of me and my generation. I don't know. The past two to 5 years, we have lost proper free speech. New Zealand, Australia, UK, and USA isn't far behind, yeah? Yep. Good evening, Steve's very own. How's it going there? Fine, Fedora, slow as well. Yep, way slow. We lost free speech September 1st, introduced the Patriot Act. Yep. I tried to like Fedora, but no matter how I tried, I end up hating it. Yep. Now that's the thing, you know, it's like I'm glad it's out there for people that like it, but my God, it was just horrible. Gotta take time to get a nice look at Fedora. I took all the time I had the patience for. It lasted a full week. I mean, no, one whole week. Greetings, Skybear. How's it going there? Just give MS Google NSA all my data and be happy. That's right. Should I install Windows 7, use VM for Mint, or run Windows 7, use Linux for the double boot? It really depends on what your purpose you're using. I would say if you need both systems really well, then you would want to probably put. I don't think Windows runs on an external hard drive, does it? Last time I looked into it, it didn't, but I thought I saw references to people making it work. So what I would do if I needed to use Windows still and wanting to run Linux for everything else, you would run Windows on the internal hard drive and use an external hard drive for your Linux distribution. That's what I would do. I was wondering if you had tried Antergos Cinnamon. I have never had any real luck with Antergos at anything. So I've played with it in a VirtualBox once, and that's about it. But I don't know. What's up with NSA encryption? Yes, if you came in late, let me just do a brief recap for everybody that came in late. Of course, the video will be up, and I'll timestamp the actual full talk. But what happened is, this was reported just a couple days ago. So the NSA's encryption algorithm Spec and Simon were implemented into kernel 4.17. So it is implemented as a module. It is not compiled by default, except on Arch for some reason. And we talk here about what you can, what they did, why they did it. Really, it was because some Google engineer, this Eric Biggers, who was thinking that he needed Biggers support from the government, and so they probably paid him for this, I don't know. But basically he says, we need to put this into the kernel so that low-spec, crappy Android devices could run some type of encryption that's lower weight than AES and other things. And so basically that made its way into the kernel, so now there is an NSA encryption algorithm module inside the kernel itself. And so that's kind of what it is. I went through in a lot more detail. Overall, I don't think that this is the absolute end of the world, but it's something we need to keep an eye on and consider going forward. And I'd like to see what Linus finally comes out and says about this. That would kind of be an interesting thing. So that's kind of the brief brief thing there. Update Solus from the terminal. You should be fine. Okay, yeah, I guess you could do it from the terminal. Maybe it's like elementary. You know, like elementary. Updating it from the terminal works fine. Updating it from the GUI kills it. Well, it doesn't kill it. It just fails to update well. You need a license to carry a firearm. It's no longer it. Well, Joe, I mean, I think it depends on how. Like, if you are if your license is a may issue, then that is a problem. If it is a shall issue, I don't find that a problem at all, because you do want to make sure that crazy lunatics aren't running around with guns. You know, or domestic abusers or things like that. So you want to, I'm okay with that compromise, as long as we maintain a shall issue, not a may issue. And for those not in the gun knowledge, the difference is that in a may issue state, like New York is a may issue state, it's almost impossible to get a firearm carry permit in New York. A may issue means you file all the paperwork and they'll look everything over, and then They can arbitrarily decide, yeah, no. I mean, if you have some criminal record, it's going to be no. But if you could be the perfect, clean-cut guy, absolute lawbreaker, never had a late library book, never sped at all, they could look at it and go, nah, we don't want to give this guy a permit. They may issue it, they may not. Who knows? Who knows? And so, with that being said, a shall issue state like Pennsylvania, where I am, and most states that have a carry permit, as long as I go in and pass a background check that I'm not a felon or convicted of a violent domestic dispute, or I think it might be any domestic dispute issue, then as long as I apply and there's nothing in there that would prohibit it, then they must issue it. And that's really the difference. So as long as the state maintains a shall issue approach to a permit, I'm okay with that. But if they approach a may issue, I'm not, because now a government officer, for no reason, no stated reason otherwise, may or may not actually give you that. So yeah, but I would probably agree part way. You love Mary Fedora. All right, that's okay, man. That's all right. Lamarck would like to see me try Ghost. What? You don't like my hair? Terminal stall if you don't have problems. Okay. Do you have a Discord server? I do not. What? Tomb Raider. Is FISA part of the Patriot Act? Which one's FISA again? I don't think it is. I don't remember, though. You can run Windows from a USB now. Thank you. That's good to know, actually. My state, I can carry conceal with them as long as you're 20. Yeah, actually, there's several states that are doing this now. In many states now, and the list is getting surprisingly longer, as long as you are over 21, been a resident of the state for longer than 6 months, and have a valid driver's license, and do not have any felony convictions, you are allowed to carry a firearm. So that is good. I like that. Yeah, if Stryker's just saying things that disagree, please don't delete the comments. I'd like to be able to see them and respond to them. Okay. Newer apps that confuse me. Too old, yeah. I mean, I'm in a red state, and I don't think... No, we have to have a permit. I have to have a permit there. You are a moderator, Mark. Let me take you off mod, because you're deleting a lot of posts, and let me take you off mod in case it was accidental. My apologies, Striker Wolf, if you're still on. What is up, Alex? Alex, what is up? I'll tell you what is up. They're putting all these chemicals in the water. It's turning the frogs gay. All right, excuse me. Just how to do that. All right. Weren't able to remove those modules. Not use the distro that have the module embedded in the kernel. Yeah, it's also possible to remove it and recompile the distro. So yes, you are able to remove the modules or disable them in the blacklist configuration. Microsoft will change the install into 10 basically. When help quits working Windows 7, it means Microsoft has put you in a VirtualBox and reinstall the evil Windows 10 in the background. You need a license. That means you need permission from the government. This module is because of old machines, yet more and more distros are giving up on 32. Well, it's not for older machines, it's for low-spec, crappy Android machines. No Android left behind. So just like the education system, we are completely weakening everything to support those lagging behind. Which makes zero sense. Not just your host file. HP host file does the same thing on Mint 10. Huh. Keep a firearm in my office. I think you had one. Right there. Right there with a box of 38s. Are we worried about Real ID? Not yet. I haven't researched it fully yet. Talk about Real ID, please. That is scheduled for the future. Hello, Carbon. How's it going there? I like Tom's hair, but you cannot say you don't like his eyes. Well, thank you. Ooh. PA isn't really that red. No, it's mostly blue with a couple of really red locations that wags the state. I took you off mod, Mark. Figure out what's going on there. Yeah. FISA, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's part of the Patriot Act or not. What should I miss? Most of it. Bit up. Third printing full automatic high clip straw rifle. We could do without the whole left coast. It's just full of lefties. I'd be okay if a little earthquake just kind of... I wouldn't shed a lot of tears. Just a couple. Problem area in California is just San Francisco. No, it's San Francisco Bay Area. And it's Los Angeles area. They're also pretty liberal Fruit Loops. Greetings! Hello, everyone! Alright. I heard No Child Left Behind is horrible legislation. How is it bad legislation? Because it dumbs down all of the levels. Okay, here's the best way to explain it. When I was in college, I was a biochem major. We went to not a tiny school, but a fairly small one, where I think we only had like 15 people in our biochemistry class. The school would only allow them to teach one biochemistry class. So we had our nutrition majors, which were actually out of the phys ed department. They were only required to take Gen Chem, which was actually Intro Chem, which is one semester of the full range of Introduction to Chemistry. And they took Gen Organic, which was, again, one semester of a watered-down baby elective organic. And then they had to take biochemistry. Well, I came into the class. By the time I took biochemistry, I'd already had the full 1 year of principles, a year of analytical, a year of organic, a year of physical chemistry. I also had already done animal physiology, zoology, biology, microbiology. So now the teacher has to figure out how to teach one class to challenge her biochemistry majors, of which we had at least 2 in the class, maybe a couple more. How do you teach one class that contains people who've had a combined total of 10 years of chemistry with people who have had a combined total of 1? You can't do it. She would either have to dumb down the class so as to not totally kill the nutrition major and give me something that's challenging, or she had to dumb it down so that they would pass, and I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs going, okay, can we get to something challenging now? That's the problem with No Child Left Behind, is it brings down the level of education for everybody. It brings them all down to the lowest possible level. So you have to teach for the lowest possible level rather than having what we used to have, different levels of classes for different aptitudes of students, which was a good plan. We don't tend to have that anymore, and that's kind of the problem. Alright, nice gun. Really want to get one too. Yeah, that's a LC9, Ruger LC9. I like it because it'll actually fit in a pocket and it doesn't look like it's there, and it holds 7 rounds. It's a 9mm. You don't have as much control and manipulation power. I don't like it. Speech recognition is a good option. Let's see. Need that gun when the government goes medieval on you. Probably will. Really love to know more about the actual bullet sizes and stuff. A little confusing. Oh man, I actually had my ammo press out last week. I think I pressed out about 700 or 800 rounds of ammo. I just wanted to get like all these components assembled together, cut back on all the extra packaging and stuff I had laying around. So I'm certainly ready for the zombie apocalypse. Don't break into here. I think I have about 1,500 rounds of ammunition. So people don't mess with Tom's. You have to deal with his little friend. Yeah, and I got one in the other room too. Video's got me to try out cinnamon. Awesome. Very good. I hope you like it, man. And welcome to the channel, man. Pepper spray for self-defense. All right, there you go. Good thing about pepper spray is you get a lot less trouble if you happen to use it by mistake. The court didn't think you were using it for self-defense. Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Even if you justifiably shoot somebody, you're still going to go to the police station for a little bit. Thinking of buying a firearm, please take lessons from a reputable source and safety first. Yes. God is setting California ablaze as we speak. No, that's not good. That's not good. Can anyone educate me more about bullet sizes? Well, you got to start with what type of gun, and then there's some sizes that are fairly compatible. Like if you're doing like a 38 and a 9mm are close, you can actually use the same press for them, if I remember correctly. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can. But really, my basic recommendation is stick with one shell size and then just do everything around that. So I have 2 9mm pistols is what I use. So other than that, just look up online different stuff about it. If you actually look up some resources on ammunition reloading, and that'll teach you more about it than you care to know, I'm sure. Here, there's a section between Philly and Pittsburgh that has a higher per capita gun ownership rate than anywhere in the country. Probably. Happening. Some states are applying for extensions. Yep. Pfizer can grab you and hold you indefinitely. Yep. I hate when YouTube mobile app. Think regular YouTube is buggy. Try the mobile app. No Child Left Behind is every child left behind. Yep. If a kid doesn't pass, he don't pass. Yep. Big earthquake and a whole left coast slides in the Pacific Ocean. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good people over there, though, man. There's a lot of good people. All right, Tom, your thoughts on Israel and U.S. relationship? I have very little comment on that. Now California makes it a misdemeanor knowingly spreading HIV. Yep, that was the stupidest thing. The stupidest law passed in this year so far, I'm pretty sure, is it went from, if you knowingly infect somebody with HIV, it went from a felony to a misdemeanor. Because, you know, how dare you be discriminatory against people with a debilitating disease. Every kid gets a trophy, yep. How do you suggest we fix the programs that try to include those in No Child Left Behind? Well, you have to fix it by starting with meeting kids where they are and helping them get to where they want to be. Our entire education system is a sham. It's an entire sham that is exclusively, we take kids out of the homes, we indoctrinate them for 12 years that they're going to go off to a school to learn just enough to go and serve a corporate boss. That's generally the way our system works. We don't care about education. That's why I stopped teaching. Okay, we need a system of education that looks at individual people and helps them where they are and helps them align with the goals where they want to go. And that's really what the difference is. We need to focus on more relevant information. And the reality is that we cannot keep one classroom homogenized for everybody. Maybe we need to endorse and train a whole lot more homeschoolers, so parents who are in a better position to know what's best for their kids will be able to teach them what's right. And I realize some people should not homeschool their children, for sure. But at the same time, we need more individualized instruction is ultimately what we need. But we're not going to get that as long as the teachers are underpaid and overstaffed and all that kind of stuff. So math for me sucks. Just me learning stuff I already know. Yep. Yeah, and there's another thing. You should be able to test out of stuff. You should be able to go and test out stuff. If you probably know more than your tech teacher does. I mean, it wouldn't be too far of a stretch. He might know maybe some more of the history, but with how much stuff you do, man, you're miles ahead of some of that, and it wouldn't surprise me. They should give you the ability to test out of stuff. California, they're having men dressed as women talking to grade school children about diversity. Yep. Well, out here at Penn State, here in my good old town, actually, do I still have this picture? Let me show you how progressive it's getting in State College here. They're putting chemical in the water that turn our sidewalks gay. Yes, that's right. They painted our sidewalks for the whatever month awareness thing. Which, okay, here's the thing, right? I don't care what gender you are, what gender you think you might be, and what gender you like to engage in private activities in the bedroom with. That doesn't really matter to me. What matters is when you militantly enforce it on everyone else is where we get into the problems. So what did Penn State just do this year? Well, they did away with Homecoming King and Homecoming Queen. They considered those titles to be too inclusive. So now we have a Homecoming Court, which includes a variety of people of no specific gender title. Class mixing is on purpose. They're repeating the past. Only the priest will have the secrets. Yep. I agree. Only the priest will have the secrets. And the priest just isn't a religious zealot anymore. It's some other type of zealot instead. I'm a true patriot. Thank you. Is Facebook or Silicon Valley based on the West Coast? Yeah, Facebook is in Palo Alto. Which is certainly a Silicon Valley city. I think misgendering someone is more severe offense than knowingly giving someone a lifelong disease. Yep. Thermite for self-defense. It's too hard to ignite. Theoretically speaking, it did happen to be God's judgment and his judgment, so just throwing it out there. Okay, yeah, I guess so. Dumbing us down makes us easier to control. Yep. So, presentation on the issue of global warming and the refugee crisis that came from it. Homeschooling, self, and survival training will become a required skill in a few decades. Good. We need it. So, if you shoot somebody, don't call the police. There are a lot of ones. Pretty numerous audience. Are those and whatever guys here too? I don't know. BT community has shown to have the highest rates of STDs. They claim HIV bill is to destigmatize their community. It's the whole knowing part. I have the biggest concern with. I'm going to start streaming as soon as yours is done. Can I raid my stream? I think I might need to jump off, but yeah, Pizza's gonna start streaming next. Maybe I'll throw it on, Pizza. I'll see what I need to do yet. Okay, even known to work on dragon skin too. California is also either did or was looking at passing a bill that made it illegal for a waiter or waitress to offer a straw to customers. This customer has to ask for it. Wow. I was a hitchhiker for 11 years. Never had a problem with cops, but termite would definitely work. Kids learn different too, yep. What did the dumb lawmakers expect? When a community full of promiscuous individuals, you're going to have a lot of diseases spread around, yeah. You are on 100%. 100%. Thoughty2 did a great video about this. Indoctrination. Oh, really? Cool. I'll have to go check it out. I've seen a few of Thoughty2's videos. I'll see if I can find that. Do you know the video name? Homeschool's a good thing. Schools are being indoctrinated in a liberal agenda, yeah. Put the dumb kids in a separate class. 4 classes. Stupid to smart. Yeah. One question. Why are young people being introduced to the LGBT community? Why is it being specifically tailored to young teenagers? Carbon Programmer. Tammy Bruce wrote a book in I think it was the 90s, talking specifically about the agenda of the LGBT community. Not people who are necessarily gay or trans or whatever, but people of the radical community, which I would say is way worse than someone who just is that. So she did a book. Now, she is a feminist and a lesbian, but she did an entire book outing that militant community and their goal of getting younger people addicted to any form of sexuality because it perverts who we are from a young age and makes us turn, it basically causes us to question these presuppositions at a younger age and gives us the experimentation that eventually would lead us into these. Tammy Bruce outlined it all in a book, and I cannot remember the name of that book, but you want to look that book up. Because she outlines perfectly what their entire agenda was. The author is Tammy Bruce, and I cannot remember the name of the book. Wasn't getting what he needed. His grasp on language is very good. Problem, like me, he's poor math. Yeah. Tech teacher knows more than me. He used to be a C# programmer. However, he has to teach all the dumb kids. All right. Kindergarten to college. And all college does now is just pushes you out to take out tons of student loans to pay for an overpriced education. It gives you under opportunity, and that's the unfortunate reality. That's why I stopped being a teacher. Small arms and unit supply in the military. Learned some tricks there. Fire the administration at training school. You don't need to teach that crap. Lord, I'm a lesbian and I am ashamed. Shame, I tell you, how the world need to be offended or have everything turned to rainbow. Yeah, good. I'm glad that the lesbian on the channel agrees with me. Okay, I don't go downtown and start painting little Christian fish all over the place. And if I did that one day, it would be on the front page of the newspaper. Somebody vandalized the sidewalk with Christian symbols. Lord. Yeah, and that's the thing. We need to stop pushing the agenda on people. That's the problem. Stop pushing the agenda. You do you, man, but stop pushing the agenda. Spent 1 year studying a subject. Spent the summer studying for level 3rd students. Okay. Not really hard to light if you have the right chemicals. Yeah, well, you know. I intentionally never learned about explosives despite being a chemist simply because I did not want to accidentally pass that information on. I know a little, but, you know. I think with the direction Microsoft is going with Windows, it will only be a matter of time before they meet their match. What do you mean before they meet their match? Clarify. Isn't landfill plastic carbon neutral? Oil mined from the earth, put back in the earth. It's just a different form. He's got a stream. Tom's got Steam working on Linux. I sort of got it working on Linux. I just don't care. I don't play video games. Right back, getting coffee. Coffee sounds good. Maybe I'll make me a coffee. I don't know. Facebook's now also input for your credit card data. Yes, I'm going to be talking about that. Will probably be my future story on Friday, by the way. Yes, if you missed it, Facebook has asked a bunch of big-name national banks for financial data to put into your profile. So you can, you know, use Messenger and, you know, they can track the things you're doing and, you know, more information. Steam does work on Linux. I think he might be talking... I don't know if you're talking about putting it on Wine, like a Windows version on Wine. I don't know, but whatever. Center College Prep Advanced Placement and Honors. Okay, it's all about corrupting the soul. Ladies should not be discriminated and put together with dumb ones. Question LGBT community for actual problems. You are called an X-phobe. Yeah. Good evening, Daniel. How's it going there? All right. Join the military to join a few tricks on... I'm now an engineer student. All right. Very good. Gay agenda was real after all. Yes. Tammy Bruce wrote about it. React OS. React OS. Beta since Windows 3.1. No, I'm sorry. It's alpha. Alpha since Windows 3.1. Just said they now have cookies that store all has a rainbow in the box. So the gay agenda was a conspiracy theory created by homophobic Christians. No, the lesbian feminists were talking about it in the 90s. Actually, I watched this fascinating video, and I've done on my Christian channel. I did these topics before. The things that the gay agenda did to push the mandated laws legalizing that, the exact approaches they taken are being done by the pedophile community right now. You know, they have their own new flag now. They have their own letter sometimes put into the LG mix. I'll just call it the LG mix. Sounds good. There was even a TED talk talking about some of these types of things. This is how it's getting. This is how it's getting. Running a channel, I will look at it. Okay, what's the difference between forcing the agenda versus activism? Nothing. Forcing the agenda is essentially activism. See, it's one thing to sit here and say we want to have equal rights, and I'm okay with equal rights. Okay, I don't think that if two secular people, and I'm gonna kind of leave the Christian part out, which you can hear about on my other channel, but if two consenting adults want to get married and they're the same sex, they should have the same protections under the law regarding insurance, regarding employment, regarding anything. I'm okay with that. I disagree with it personally, the lifestyle personally, based upon my faith. But I'm okay with that in a society, and that's called a compromise in a free society. All right? What I'm not for is special rights. And special rights, there was a gay guy I knew, he was kind of bi. I don't know. He actually was undefined. This was back about 20 years ago, and he was actually afraid to call himself gay. He didn't want to use those terms because, I mean, 20 years ago, that was a derogatory term. But he always said, I'm undefined. It's like, no, you can't be undefined. You are either gay or you are straight or you are bi, you know? And so he finally came down and he fell in love with this guy, this construction worker. I think his name was Larry. And he fell in love with Larry, and I came into a store one day, and he says, I can confidently, fully say I'm gay. Good. I've been telling you that for a while, dude. You know? But he had a fascinating statement. So I'll tell you what his statement is based upon this movement. He says, the homosexual movement doesn't want equal rights. They want special rights. And we don't need special rights for anybody. You do you. But we don't need special rights for anybody. We don't need that. Well, how do we get so far down this rabbit hole? I need to get us out of this rabbit hole. I think Microsoft Windows got hurt by trespassing on privacy. Glycophosphates and Roundup turned... No, yeah, okay. Okay, what I mean is them changing how Windows Desktop to a subscription-based services could spawn the rise of more Microsoft users to get Linux real quick. Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to be doing that on the public sector. That's more of like a corporate thing. They're doing the desktop as a service, to my understanding, as a corporate service. I don't think that's going to come down as private service. Now, if they did move it down to individual consumer level, then I really think in that case, absolutely, it would probably cause a big jump for Linux users. I think that would be true. School conservative and libertarian socially. Remember, the culture is upstream from politics. People on YouTube curse me more for being liberal 1 minute and conservative the next because there's such a huge divide. Yeah, nobody thinks logically anymore. That's the thing. And people say, well, that TV show does not have, yeah. Yeah. Next thing be normalized, and they're working on it. Yep. Hey, when I start talking to most of the people around me about security issues, they just say Spotify, Facebook, and online banking words. That's all it needs to know. Yeah. The point is America Falls is so depraved now. Like I said, there is a fabulous documentary called, I think it's Decadence, The Decline of the Western Civilization. It is spot on if you can find a copy of that. That is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Conservatism seems not to be a bad choice. You still have to be open-minded to preserve what you conserve. Yeah. Don't forget the unicorn. I know I can't forget the unicorn people. Cannot forget the unicorn people. Absolutely. And if you happen to be unaware of the unicorn people, Vice did a very interesting presentation on the rise of the unicorn people. So these people literally think that they were born in the wrong bodies, that they are really unicorns. So they literally get skin implants and surgeries and stuff like this. So yes, these are the unicorn people we're talking about. This is an actual movement down in London. So what is in the water over there? Just curious. I'm not sure. But anyway, yes, the rise of unicorn people. It is indeed. Oh, there is a unicorn HQ too. Look at that. Show, what's the deal with the kernel? To summarize again, Hunter, the NSA module for Spec and Simon were implemented into the kernel 4.17. When this show's done, just watch it. It's like a 10-minute part of the beginning, and I'll go ahead and link it once the video's done processing. See if I can get to the bottom of the comments here. Okay, let's see. What does the video doc called again? Which video? This one here. It is Inside London's Hedonistic Polyamorous Unicorn Movement. I'll just drop it in the chat for those wanting to watch the unicorn movement. Thought the Pastafanarian thing was too much. I don't know what's worse. I don't know. How about this? How about a Pastafanarian unicorn? There should be 2 P's, Anna Rita. I'm a Pegasus people. No unicorns over here. Microsoft should not have made Windows 10 as a data tool, and the main reason why Linux is growing fast, no data collection on Linux will not be as big as it is now. That's true. Alright. They sure they are unicorns? They should watch The Last Unicorn, 1982. Unicorn Nation. Thoughts on Ben Shapiro? Is you're into philosophy you have joined? Well, I've seen a few Ben Shapiro things. So I don't know enough about him to give a comment one way or the other. All right, let me see if I can find a kitty. We're getting close to the bottom here. All right. We're going to go ahead and do a 5-minute warning because I want to get some other things done yet tonight. So let's go ahead and feed the kitty. If you are new here, we end the show by feeding the kitty. And thanks, everyone, for hanging out for so long. We'll do another long live stream maybe in a couple of days. All right. Let's see what we got here, buddy. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can get the cute paw thing going. Can you get the paw thing going? Hey, you want to get the paw thing going? Here, right here, buddy. We'll get the paw thing going. Oh, yeah, he's got the paw thing going. Go on. You got it. There you go. Yeah. And you get one over here. Oh, yeah. Let's do one for this camera down here. Yeah. And let's do one more because you were... Oh, right here. One more because you were such a good kitty today. Yeah. Are they finger licking good? Are they? Yes, they're finger licking good, aren't they? All right, let's see. Soon we will have cow people. Don't we already? Oh. Your old fire screen to the new one. New one is much cooler. Yes. New one is cooler. You should look him up on his Christianity lectures. All right. Okay. Yes, Pizza is doing a live stream here shortly. You go raid Pizza's stream. Tammy Bruce, The Death of Right and Wrong, Exposing the Left Values. I think that might be it. The paw is too cute, yeah. I think I got him trained for the paw first. Then we have the cow tippers movement. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up. But don't forget to check the links in the description down below for that. I'm going to try and remember to... Oh, in fact, I'll go ahead and do it now before I close the browser tab. I'm going to go ahead and put the sources in this, and I'll timestamp when the start of the actual discussion is. All right, guys, we will catch you later. And I should be live streaming tomorrow. Not sure what I'm doing yet. But I'll be live streaming tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on this channel, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on the Christian channel, and then Friday for news. And check out Pizza Lovin' Nerds channel next. He's starting up a live stream. I'll jump over there after I get things torn out over here and get working on my next project. So I'll be on maybe 10-15 minutes. Uh-oh. Where's my digital girl, Anna Rita? Where's my digital girl? All right, guys. We'll catch you later.